Hey, y'all. So I know that I promised last week after I went live, that I'm going to invite some people just in case they're able to come and maybe join in this conversation. But I know that I promised that I would talk about the problems that writers face and do a video a week leading up to Stand in Stories, which is June the 21st through the 23rd. And it's not really a hard sell on Stand in Stories, just trying to share what is going to be there so that people get an idea of what we're going to be doing. And to tell you the truth, it's really hard for me to do live videos. I don't know why, but it's not my favorite thing to do. And I know kind of rough right now. Just got done doing the, the thing where you go and ride a bicycle in the dark with loud music, cycle bar. So yeah, that's where I am. But I wanted to share. So today's question that I'm going to be answering or attempting to is, how do I write a best-selling novel? So, wow, this is a tough one, and I really have to tell you that when I wrote my second book and published it, I thought, just in the back of my mind, I had read this article that said something like, you only have to sell 10,000 books when you release your book to be on New York Times bestseller list. So I was like, in the back of my mind, I thought maybe that would happen. And then my first book actually did become an Amazon bestseller in a certain category, and we can talk about that on another video. But what I really want to say is, you're not going to like the answer to this question, because the truth is you have to focus on selling and not writing. And so that's what I had done. Was I was like, I just wrote this book, I finished it, and if you're writing a book or if you have written one, you know how hard the writing is. But then I've talked about how writing is only half the battle. So focusing on selling and not writing. Unfortunately, I read this the other day, and I really don't love it because I don't think it's really fair, but this is kind of the way you have to think about it. Most brilliant writers don't sell, and most best-selling writers aren't brilliant. So my friend Trish Taylor could probably speak to this. I'm not sure why I can't see who's here. I invited her, but I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, she talks about mermaid romance novels a lot, and how people are making bank writing trash romance novels. And there's just this huge niche for that. And yeah, so I kind of think that's what they're talking about. So it's not necessarily that all bestsellers are not brilliant and that all people who write brilliantly are not bestsellers. I just think that you really have to think about selling your books if you want it to be a bestseller, because that's what it is. So really, you have to think maybe in a different way. Especially with independent publishing, there's this cool thing that you can do. You can grow as a writer while you're getting published. Instead of with traditional publishing, you kind of like put it all in, like all the eggs in the basket are in there. So with independent publishing, the way that I'm doing it, I know the way that other people are doing it is they're kind of like publishing as they go and learning as they go. And then, you have to learn about the algorithm. You have to learn about how to reach your audience, because really at the end of the day, bestseller just means that exactly what it is. It's selling. And so that's what you really have to focus on. It's like the chicken and the egg, like which comes first, writing or selling, mastering the art of writing versus mastering the art of selling. And I think that with independent publishing, you can do both. So think about it with Amazon, or this is what I've learned recently to think about, like with social media. Basically, you are representing social media. You are representing Amazon. So technically, guys, we're all working for Facebook. We're all working for Amazon. We're doing the stuff, well, and I know independent publishers don't want to hear that, because they're like, no, I work for myself. But really, if Amazon is selling your books, then you are working for Amazon. You're giving them the work. And yes, they are doing a lot of work for you by housing the books and publishing the book or printing the books and selling them. But so if you think about it in that way, then you think about the way that the algorithm honors you for doing certain things. So like with Amazon, if your books are selling, then Amazon's going to push your books because they're making money. And if you're doing advertising, then Amazon's going to push your books because they're making money. And it's the same thing with Facebook. Like if you are, your stuff is getting a lot of likes, then Facebook's going to push it. If you're not getting any likes, then Facebook's not going to push it. So you have to learn all of this stuff. And that is why I am hosting the Right Brunch, which I haven't got one scheduled now, but we are planning. There are some in the works. And then I'm also doing the Sand and Stories, like I said at the beginning, June the 21st through the 23rd. It's going to be at Coldwater Gardens. And we're going to talk about, figuring out who your audience is, because you can't sell to everyone. If you are an entrepreneur, you know that saying is like, if you're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. So you have to know who your audience is. You have to know how to reach that audience, so how to get into the right market. And then, so we're going to talk about that. Then you also have to know, some stuff about like honoring the algorithm. So with Amazon, it's all about reviews. And I didn't know that you can't just get anybody to write a review for you. I actually had my wife, Alyssa's cousin, wrote a review. She actually bought the book and loved it and wanted to write a review for it. I didn't even really ask her to. And so she wrote it and she was like, hey, go check out my review. And I was like, it's not on there. And Amazon had actually removed it and said that we were related. And she wasn't, we're related by marriage, but we aren't technically related by blood. So Amazon is very picky about that, which is weird, but that's just one of those things that you learn. And that's why I'm doing the Right Brunch and Sand and Stories, because I want to help people who are interested in writing, who are maybe just weighing their options. It may not be that you're completely dead set on independent publishing, but you want to learn more about it and help them learn from the things that I've learned and the things that I'm continuing to learn, because I am still writing and I have 2 fiction books that I'm working on. I'm helping I have 2 other projects that I'm working on with 2 people, and then I actually am coaching 2 people in their books. And so I'm learning as I go, and that's what's great about independent publishing, is that you can do that, and I want to share. So I hope that you enjoyed this. If you have any questions specifically about independent publishing, I would love for you to add them to this list. I already have like a lot of questions that I'm answering. So I'm going to do this once a week until the sales end for Sand and Stories. And those tickets actually do have to end at May the 30th, because I have to give Coldwater a number of people who are coming so they can make arrangements. And so yeah, I will share the link to that. I think I told you I would do that last time and I forgot. So I will share the link to that. It's on Evolve and Thrive's page. If you haven't already done this, go and like that. If you are here and you're my friend, or you've been to the Right Brunch, or you've been to one of my events, you know what I really need? I need to do my job and work for Facebook and get people to like my stuff. And so I would really, really love it if you would give me a review. So if you've been to any of Evolve and Thrive's events, like the Vagina Monologues, the Masquerade Ball, the Right Brunch, yeah, go and give me a review. If you have read my book and you liked it, then go give me a review. Evolving Through Bullshit, I actually just made a Facebook page for that, because I was like, yeah, I need to do this if I'm going to do a book tour, which, by the way, I forgot to tell you that that's my favorite part of being an independent publisher, is that I get to travel and do book signings and read from my books and share this stuff with people. And then, it's an expense. It's a business expense, because this is a business. So yeah, yeah. I think I've said enough. Like it, love it, recommend it, write a review, ask me questions. That's it. Thanks. Bye. Oh.